whites. And previously we had 2 Feteasca Albas, and now we're jumping to the only white here that's not Romanian varietal. So we have here a Chardonnay from Romania. It's a special reserve Chardonnay, Princiar, right? It's Princiar.
Princiar. That would mean noble as in royalty.
Yeah, it has something to do with prince.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the vintage is 2018.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 we had were 2019, right?
There is an indication on the back label which says DOC CMD. CMD means harvested at full ripeness.
Uh-huh.
So we should expect something with more concentration of the grapes.
Okay. CMD. What's the full name of it? Full
maturitate
full
de plină means full,
okay.
at full ripeness.
Okay.
Maturitate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plină. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And special reserve. Why is it special reserve again? I mean, does it mean that this wine is old, or what's the?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We don't really age in barrels.
Because on the nose, there's no oak.
There's no oak at all. No.
It's very fresh.
The whites in Romania, as in most of the other countries, are made for current consumption and immediate consumption.
Okay. But even with Chardonnay, because usually with Chardonnay, we would expect a little bit of oak, a bit of Shirley aging, like lees aging. But on the nose, I don't think that's...
Romanians don't like have oaked wines actually that much.
How about Shirley aging? Do they like it, the lee stirring?
It's a niche. So it's becoming more important, but it's something very new. I mean, you have to remember, like we were saying before, that the palate of Romanian changed. They were used to very sweet wines. And that changes these days. So the winemakers are making big efforts into educating their public target.
I see. And on the nose, it's actually very fresh.
Yes. Yes.
It's quite floral.
It's very floral.
Yeah. Ooh. It actually reminds me of what we're missing from Chardonnay, because I think over the years, people have been overproducing, over-making Chardonnay.
I think this Chardonnay is the way Chardonnay should be done or should be made when you're talking about normal daily consumption. When you're not planning to age the wine, is going to be consumed during the year. This is Chardonnay the way it should be. It has a very nice bitterness towards the end of the palate.
Yeah.
It's bone dry, isn't it?
It's bone dry, yes. And that slight hint of bitterness actually makes the wine more complex.
Yes, it does.
It adds to the complexity.
It does, yeah.
But it's not as bitter as in it's not drinkable. But just a tiny bit of bitterness that it's sort of like grapefruit.
The bitterness makes the wine quite interesting, actually. Again, it's a nice surprise.
It's actually very nice. But what food does it go with? What food do you think it would go with?
Something maybe a little bit more elaborate. Something, if you're talking fish, not necessarily grill, you would expect a sauce. Right. Something with a bit more fat, maybe.
Okay.
Right?
I think so, yeah. Or something with a bit more fat, but the problem is I don't think we'll go with meat. Well, okay, white meat, yes.
I was thinking about veal.
Veal?
Yeah. Oh.
Very good idea,
no?
man. It's very hard to find here,
here
in Asia.
It's true. Very nice. Yeah, very, very nice.
But then I think it gives it's a bit of a fresh air in the world of Chardonnay. I'm sorry.
It's different. It's different from what we're used to. That's for sure.
Because I think Chardonnay is the most abused grape these days. I mean, people put on too much maquillage, mascara.
I think people say about Chardonnay that it's quite easy to vinify.
Yes, it's too much winemaking.
If you're not making some big mistakes, you have to have a good Chardonnay at the end of the day. If you're not making mistakes in the vinification process, I mean.
Yeah.
What makes it different is that actually this is not old world, but it's not new world. Romania, it's old world, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be a
But
sort of a new world.
Because
in
the ironic thing is, the more new world the style is, the more overly made the Chardonnay will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. The east of Europe, Romania, Bulgaria, are considered to be sort of a new world of the old world.
But the winemaking is not new world at all.
It's
so,
not. It's not. It's not. But it's different from what you would expect from that area.
So it's a breath of fresh air. Wonderful. And let's move on to. Okay, this wine, the name is called Valachorum. Yeah,
we guess it means from Wallachia.
From Wallachia.
Of Wallachia.
So where exactly is Wallachia? You got to help.
Wallachia is the southern part of what is today Romania. Basically south of the border, south of Transylvania, and south of Moldova, which is the eastern part of the country.
So the Alumare region is within Wallachia, right?
It is.
And what are the major cities in Wallachia?
Bucharest, to start with,
Okay.
is the capital.
Of course.
And then Ploiești.
Ploiești, which is the Alumare,
which
is
is
the
closer to
capital of the Alumare,
Exactly.
basically.
And Craiova,
Okay.
that which is more towards the west of the country.
It's close to Hungary already.
We are getting closer to Hungary, but it's still quite
Okay.
quite a bit for distance.
Okay.
Let's try.
Let's try. And I love this label. This label looks very modern.
But actually, it's a traditional Romanian carpet.
Oh.
Those are folkloric elements that you would find on carpets or on traditional clothes from centuries.
I remember this pattern actually. It's also similar to that pattern you're from another winery that you're importing from.
From Requința.
Yeah. They only make that winery. They only make white wines.
Not actually. It's not.
There's only one
They're
red.
making a Feteasca Negra, but they're producing less than 2,000 bottles, so the wine is gone immediately.
I see. So let's
try
this Valachorum, and the winemaker is Daniel Dornali. Okay.
Yeah.
Enolog. And this vintage is 2019. That's the problem with these Romanian wines. I mean, the vintage is not very clear because, okay, here you can see it, but then it's very small. The print is very small. I'm sorry.
On the back label, yes, I know. You're right.
Yeah, it's hard to read sometimes.
Let's see. Can I? Thank you.
And this is supposed to be the top of the range.
Top of the range that we are tasting today.
Okay.
The producer has two other ranges where the wines are of a very, very limited edition. But this, I think, would be the below iconic wines, something like that.
So this, we're back to Feteasca Alba grape.
Exactly.
So there's no more Chardonnay. There's only one Chardonnay.
Yeah, we're back to Feteasca Alba.
Wow.
This is going to be a big wine.
On the nose, that's very nice.
Yeah.
I love that scent of rose petal. Wow, so floral, beautiful.
It is so floral.
But it's floral in a different way because the previous two Feteasca Albas, they're floral, but of brighter flowers, like white flowers, yellow flowers. But here it's more, some rose petal, something more
complex.
Complex,
yeah.
Beautiful. Well. Then okay, on the palate it's creamier.
This is nice.
I'm pretty sure there must be lees stirring in here. Some lees aging.
Probably.
For sure. Because
it's too complex.
It's more complex. A lot more complex.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more fat. It's more round. It's more elegant at the same time. Even if it's a bigger wine of the rest, but it's round and elegant. Very very.
And
nice,
it's quite weighty on the palate. Actually,
yes,
you can feel the oiliness of it.
Yeah, this is what I meant by fattiness.
Yeah. And it's got very good acidity.
Yeah.
It's bone dry, but then the aftertaste is very long.
You see, what this level of acidity in Dalum, you said why they're making whites in a red region.
Yeah.
Because you would expect lack of acidity.
Yeah.
It's not. It's high acidity in all those wines.
But then the Alumare, it's not a very high elevation, right?
No, I would say 200-300 meters, not more than that.
But then rolling hills.
Yes.
Okay. That's why.
Yeah.
So maybe they've chosen some cooler sites
I would
planting
imagine
the whites.
I would imagine so. When you have some area where you have a difference from day and night temperature.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, I would say
Very
this
happy
one
about
is
this wine. Yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah. Very happy.
I love it, actually. Well, we have to give these a score. Actually, we forgot to score the Chardonnay. The Chardonnay, I would say it's nice. It's for drinking
Probably
now.
we say on the
A
same
bit
B.
simple, B minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here, hey, this Valahorum, wow. It's a wow.
Yes, it is.
You know, even though I think this wine wouldn't age, because it's still a white with no oak.
It would still be. It would still be.
Maybe 5 years.
Well, probably a bit less. Maybe
less,
3 years. I would imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would give it an A. You know,
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
I love it.
It's very, very well done. Very elegant. Very complex.
I think
very well structured.
it's better than a lot of the other white wines you used to carry.
Yeah. I would say it's probably the most complex Feteasca that I had in my portfolio.
Wow. Oh,
Which is well,
you have to get this one.
We are planning to get those wines anyway.
Yeah.
So or a choice of those wines. So
it's beautiful.
This is going to be on the list. If you decide to get them, this one is going to be on the list for sure.
I love it that when there's a tiny bit of that salinity towards the end, the minerality to it. So this wine would go with a lot of food, a wide range of food.
Definitely.
I would love to try this wine with some
it's
food.
there. It lingers on.
Suddenly, it reminds me of one important Romanian food. That's cheese. I think this wine would go with some bronzer.
Romanians are big on cheese. You know. That would be actually a wine that you could use throughout your meal. At least before you go to red meat. You will have starters very well with that. We eat the cheese at the beginning of the meal, if you remember.
Because my feeling with some Romanian cheeses is that it's that sort of like white cheese with a bit of quite a bit of salinity. Actually quite salty.
Actually, I would say it would go very well even with what we like in Romania. We call it cașcaval, which is
cașcaval.
It's a smoked cheese, right?
Yeah, cașcaval as well.
Yeah.
But then the smokiness in cașcaval, I'm not sure because there's no smokiness in this wine. It's not oak, so I don't know.
I would try it.
Okay.
I would try.
But yeah, I would or even I know feta cheese, Greek salad, feta cheese. That would work.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Very good surprise.
Great surprise.
Yep.
So that's it for this episode. Next episode we'll still have Roberto Hill and we'll be trying some Romanian reds. So stay tuned.